Hey guys, it is about to be Barbenheimer weekend. Now, if you haven't been following the hype online, Barbie and Christopher Nolan's Oppenheimer, or Oppenheimer, depending on how you want to say it, are both coming out this Friday, July 21st. Now, I got to see Barbie at the premiere July 9th, and I watched Oppenheimer this past week at City Walk. Now, I enjoyed both films. They're completely different. I don't really even know why people are kind of comparing them, other than the fact that they're coming out on the same day. Um, Oppenheimer is definitely for those of you who like history or who really want to kind of like know what, went on in the world back in the day. I actually had no idea about Oppenheimer's story until this movie came out. As somebody who went to school in England and did a lot of like studying, it was crazy that I didn't know about the whole story of the A-bomb, the atomic bomb. Now, going into the film, yes, it is 3 hours. Yes, you really need to be into this type of thing, because if you're sitting there and you're watching people talk and have conversations, you really want to pay attention, and you really want to be the type of person who doesn't need like crazy action scenes or comedy or whatever to really be into a movie. But it is a great film. It's very meticulously done, and you've got very accurate historical moments, and you kind of really feel what the characters are going through. Now, with Barbie, I was completely fanned out, completely obsessed. Obviously, I was born in the 90s, so going into this movie for me, I wouldn't really say it's a kid movie. I think it's made for us who grew up playing with Barbie. Of course, you can take your children. I'm gonna take my 4-year-old. But it is definitely a movie for us. I am wearing my Barbie shirt. Not only did I get to see it at the premiere, so I was in Barbie land, but the film is also 2 hours long, so you want to kind of be in a comfortable setting. You want to really, not be distracted and really be into the movie. Now, going into it, many people think this is going to be a movie about dolls and Barbie land and kind of like life in plastic is fantastic, but it's not. It is a little bit, but it's not. So, Greta Gerwig did a great job by showing the negatives and the positives of Barbie. The story does, mainly focus on Margot Robbie's Barbie, stereotypical Barbie. However, there's all these other Barbies. There's Pregnant Barbie, President Barbie, played by Issa Rae. There's Mermaid Barbie. There's Working Barbie. There's a different Barbie to match every different career path for every little girl. Now, the story kind of dives into kind of the imperfections and how Barbie starts to realize that the real world is not so fantastic like Barbie land, and she has to kind of like find herself. And within, Barbie's and all of the Barbies journey, we kind of see ourselves on screen, because growing up, women are kind of seeing Barbie as this perfect being, and you want to grow up and be perfect like her. But Barbie wasn't just like the cute face, pretty hair, and the perfect body. She was also a single career woman who had everything together, her own home, and was able to get it. But the movie also touches on how, America Ferrera's character is somebody who works at Mattel, and her feelings and her struggles are going through the Barbie land, and it's showing up in the Barbies and how their feet are going from curved to flat. So it very cleverly, through original Barbie outfits, original Barbie experiences, dolls that have come out through the years, puts together a movie that is both fun, emotional, and very relatable. And it kind of shows like the struggles that women face and the things we go through with stress, depression, anxiety, but bringing it into Barbie land and almost making a better world. And it also gives some leeway to Ken, who is always under Barbie and kind of living for her. And when he discovers that there's a life in the real world that kind of, well, the real life, I guess, we're all experiencing, where men kind of have the bigger opportunity, he takes it back and tries to replicate that in Barbie land, which doesn't go too well with the Barbies. And, the end outcome, I won't give you any spoilers because I want you to go see it, is we get a true representation of the life we are kind of living. What makes Barbie special isn't just the historical use of the different Barbie dolls, the outfits, the music, the way Barbie floats down from the dream house and the way her feet go from perfect curve to flat. It's also the kids who play with the dolls and how they grow up and the transitions they go through. It's the way, the film and Warner Brothers brought Mattel into the movie, with Will Ferrell being the CEO and him wanting things done a certain way, and how companies often don't want to let go of the past, and how one thing made them success and not wanting to kind of change with the times. It explores all of that. There's humor in it, there's fun. I mean, my favorite part is just, when Barbie is drinking out of a carton and nothing is coming through, like it's empty. So it's realistic and fake at the same time, which, it makes it really important. Now, this film, I think, is also one of the most important films that will come out this year because it's the first movie that the toy has come out, a live action version. And it does have a deeper meaning and a deeper lesson for people who actually want to understand women and what they're going through, and obviously like things men are going through too, because as we see, we can. Now, Oppenheimer is a completely different film. It also touches on how mankind can destroy the world, you know? Oppenheimer created the A-bomb and he was told to do so because they wanted to use it to defeat Nazi Germany. Now, as time went on, they were then told like, oh, we needed to defeat Japan and whatnot. So they created this A-bomb, and the moment when you see the bomb being tested out for the first time, it's the way Nolan does it, it's very like tense. You feel like you're in the moment and like you can actually feel the explosion and the aftermath. And then when Oppenheimer, played by Cillian Murphy, has the flashbacks of what this bomb can do to people, it's almost like he's regretting, you know, helping create this, and he wants to kind of work with the US leaders and, you know, whoever he's working with to be able to like put some restrictions on the arms race and being able to prevent people from creating these bombs and using it for like World War III, World War IV. And it just shows how the government and these high powers can bring you into something, have you create something, and then throw it right back in your face, and how we are collectively destroying the world. I mean, there's a moment in the film where Oppenheimer is talking to Albert Einstein. Yes, it was super crazy seeing Albert Einstein in a film. I was amazed and like I was geeking out. And he's talking about how some of the atoms in the bomb, this is before they like tested it out, could have the potential to react with the environment, and then it could create an effect after the initial explosion that continues to burn out the entire like environment, and then they would basically burn up the world. However, even though the bomb is successful and that doesn't happen, metaphorically, by them creating the A-bomb, that then does create the same domino effect where now Russia, Germany, Japan, they all want to create a larger bomb, a bigger bomb, and it just continues to the point where if they use all of these bombs, we would be destroying the world anyway. Even though this film was set, you know, a very long time ago, it's clearly still relevant today. Like what we went through in World War I, World War II, we see stuff going on with Russia, Ukraine, the US, all these other countries. And the power and the destruction of the world, the environment as being done by humans is present in this film. So when comparing Oppenheimer to Barbie, they're both teaching us a lesson about how we can improve humanity, but how we have historically also destroyed humanity and people's feelings in the long run. The film definitely rattles the audience. There's a lot of talking moments. There's a lot of sit-down moments. There's a lot of conversational moments. It's not something where, you know, you can just like expect to go in and it's going to be a movie about explosives and bombs. But, you know, we have strong characters. We have Cillian Murphy as Robert Oppenheimer. We have Matt Damon, Robert Downey Jr., Emily Blunt, and so on. We have so many like great, strong roles in there that the characters themselves really bring this to life. Now, if it's coming down to like which film you should see this weekend, this probably might not be your typical review. I'm literally telling you how I feel. I'm not making it some crazy put together review that you see on YouTube and everybody has everything. They're diving deep into all the little intricate elements of the movie. I'm literally telling you how I felt about both. Barbie is definitely something, you know, if you love Barbie, you know, guys will want to see it. Guys, if you want to go with your girlfriend, go see it. It's not something that's like just for women or just for girls. It's really funny. It has relatable moments. There's not a crazy amount of singing, but there's a really good soundtrack. And it just makes you just leave feeling good about yourself and feeling like, okay, maybe I need to think twice before I say something mean to someone, or maybe I need to think twice before I do this, or maybe that person's feelings were like this when this happened. It does make you think twice about things, and it makes you look back on history and life and how we can all do something to make it better for the next generation of people. Now, Oppenheimer, I mean, I think everybody should go and see this because it's very scary. The film itself isn't scary, but what happened is scary, and Christopher Nolan does like a great job in like putting that on the screen and letting us know like, hey, what they went through back then is kind of happening again, and it can happen again and again. And what if, you know, the atomic bomb that dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki wasn't the only time an atomic bomb was dropped? What if these powers didn't have that self-control and it went on to dropping a hydrogen bomb on somebody else? Like, we're already in a time where big world powers are fighting and doing this and that, and they want power, and it's going to lead to world destruction. And we were very close to it in the 1930s and the 1940s, and it can happen again. And some people may sit there and be like, oh, there's too much talking in this film, there's too many parts that I'm not following. And you don't need to understand everything as you're seeing it, because what I do when I leave a movie theater is I look up facts. I look up what exactly, why this happened in the movie and what was going on. And for somebody who had no clue about Robert Oppenheimer, you're like, yes, I knew about an atomic bomb and nuclear weapons and whatnot, but I didn't know how it came about. I didn't know like what the history was of it. So now I do, and I think it's important to know these things. And obviously in England, our education is a little bit different. They teach us more things when it comes to history, and they don't as much in America. So even so, I still didn't know about it, but this film was important. I think if you want to see both this weekend, I would maybe start with Oppenheimer and then watch Barbie. So like a Friday, Saturday thing. That way you kind of like get through like the serious movie, you get deep into it, you really like pay attention, and then you go into Barbie, which also has a serious message, but it has like more lighthearted moments and moments of like laughter and whatnot. You don't really want to be laughing in Oppenheimer because it's very serious. I would rate Oppenheimer 6.5 out of 10, only because I do need like some more action in movies, and even though I have a good attention span, I can get like bored slightly, even though I love historical movies. But it was a great film. Just for my personal preference, I would give it a 6.5 out of 10. But if I was to rate it like on the film's mission and what it does, I would give it a 10 out of 10. Now Barbie, I have to like rate like 50 out of 10 because I was like obsessed. So we'll give it a 10 out of 10. It made me happy. It made me cry. I left the theater just wanted to go move to Barbie land and just quit work and just live free and be a person who can do whatever they want and achieve whatever they want and not have to like be under somebody else's rule. So that's how the movie feel like you could just be a free woman or a free man or whatever and just go out into the world. Of course, like when you come back to reality, like we all can't be doing that, but go see them both this weekend. They come out Friday, July 21st, and let me know what you think.